Oh, let's get ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. It is game 3 of 3 here. Finish out the day here with the W&J Presidents against your Robert Morris University Colonials. Neither team able to pick up a win here today so far. So this will decide who finishes second out of the 3 teams today, as both teams fell to Carnegie Mellon.
Alrighty, we're just getting set up here. Just clearing this sort of stuff from the last game and getting ready to go for the third and final game of today's tri-match. We'll get situated here from our little perch up on the second floor of the RMU Rec Center, shooting down onto the main court here. So, we have finally learned, Jordan, who the camo man is.
Michael DePace.
It is indeed Michael DePace. So you can finally say who some of these players are. So on the court for RMU, it looks like it'll be Salone, DePace, Handwork, Cameron Courtney, Mark Hollinger making his, I think, first appearance of the day, and Will Koschenauer. And away. Whoa, never mind. Not away we go. Away we wait for the ref's whistle because we needed some line judges.
And 2 players from RMU will volunteer, Gazdick and Jennings will take over the corner job for this game.
It's interesting to see Michael Gazdick not on the floor to start this one. He's usually one of the staples of this RMU lineup, along with Koschenauer, Courtney, and Handwork. But he'll be serving as line judge for the moment, so we'll see how this one shakes out.
As we are getting underway here, W&J with the serve to start it out.
Take 2. And Courtney will set up Nick Salone. Doesn't get it to go and hit the net in the process. Not the best start there for the Colonials.
No, it is not. This is the first time WJ has actually gotten the first point today in any other games.
Hollinger, the Courtney. Over to Handwork, and it's picked up nicely from the W&J defense. Trying their own version, but DePace and Salone, big time block in front of the net.
Yeah, the Camo King himself putting that away.
It's a good name. I like that. So it'll be Gage Handwork to serve here in this 1-1 game. Both teams in a bit of a feeling out process at the moment, as that's a misplay there from the W&J side. That ball just kind of sat there on him.
And your old handyman over here putting in some work.
Oh, my God. How have we seen 3 men's club volleyball games, and this is the first time you've said that? Oh, and a nice play there from Koschenauer. He almost seemed surprised that he even pulled that one off. He kind of looked like, oh, that's a point. Go us.
Yeah. Cannot complain about that one. As the handyman is back again. Serve number 2 here.
Pops it up. And that is nowhere near the back corner. Another point for the Colonials.
I'm telling you, we've seen this a little bit here. Number 7 of W&J has been putting some heat behind these. He's been having trouble getting them to stay in, but when they're in, they're good, but it's just getting that control.
Yeah, and that just comes with time, as Cameron Courtney will float that one over, and nearly steered on the second attempt. The volley is on. Oh, and a big time spike there from number 7. That's Frank.
And just like I mentioned, he's got that heat. He's got that little mustard. He's got that pizzazz. And when you sprinkle just the right amount, it gives you the best flavor in the world. And that flavor is a point.
It's a good flavor. As DePace going up, got blocked, but RMU still in control of the ball. Oh, what a play there from Koschenauer. Just said, doink.
Just that right little amount and getting a little bang.
Found the spot right along the sideline in between the front and back row of the defense. RMU opening up a little bit of a lead here, now 5-2. Presidents will play some defense here. Oh, and that one met at the line. Sidorsky went for the spike, but once again, Frank there to meet him. That just feels weird, doesn't it? I know I keep saying it, but I can't get it in my head that we're just using the first names.
And I don't know if I want to put this brand into existence in this game, but you could say that Frank is red hot right now.
Oh, come on.
It's an easy one. They set it up.
Speaking of setup, Courtney will send it across off the setup from Sidorsky. And just watch it hit the floor. I don't know what happened there. The two guys stared at each other, and the ball just went right in between them. Speaking of new players on the court here, Chandler Demeron subbing in here for the Colonials. This is the first time we've seen him today. He's got some heat on that serve. And that'll be a point for RMU. They're saying it's a scoop, a little lift action.
Yeah, that one had some heat.
We'll see if he can replicate it here again. And he does. This time W&J gets under it cleaner. Oh, and handwork can't get down low enough to dig that one out. A point for the Presidents.
Could not drop it like it's hot. And that is a point for the Presidents there.
It's a shame that it wasn't Frank. Then you could even plug in your Red Hots again.
I know. When are we going to get that Frank's Red Hot sponsorship?
Frank's Red Hot, let us know. I know he's not on our team, but we can still use the help. Sidorsky wants to get it over, instead pops it up for Dameron over the Cameron Courtney, who sends it across. A lot of action in front of the net right now. Dameron, the Courtney. Oh, and Kochenauer got that to go. Wow. How did he not hit the net or hand that out of the play? That was a really tight window to work in.
What a touch on that. Just caught the line.
Sends it up right into the net. That's number 4 for W&J, Mike, who will hit that one into net. One thing I've noticed with our crowd here today, obviously a lot of family members of players in the crowd, but also a good bit of just students on campus. Particularly, it looks like we have a decent bit of grouping from the Sigma Tau Gamma fraternity out here today. They're in the section down below us to our right, as W&J will retain the serve, trailing by 4. And that doesn't even really get to the net.
That was a short one there.
Much like me when I tried out for the basketball team.
Well.
Oh, Lucas Sidorsky now to serve it. The silence was deafening. That's a point for the Colonials there. Sidorsky starting to get into a bit of a rhythm, as are the Colonials as a whole. They've looked fairly in control of this one so far through the early going of Game 1. Almost gets it over, but instead it'll just land on the back of the front line player there for W&J. Sidorsky again to serve for the Colonials, and he's wasted no time. He scurried on back to serve this one over. Pops it up. Sent across. Kochenauer under it to Dameron. To the pace, who gets it to go. Mike for W&J got a lot of the block, just not enough to send it back across.
Yeah, the Camo King sent a snipe on that one and right into the hands, unable to handle it.
Sidorsky just clears the net. Oh, and W&J couldn't quite get to it in time. Like you mentioned earlier, Jordan, those ones that get across the net, but hit the net, very tough to play.
Yeah, and it showed on that one.
Some chaos going on in the stands here as W&J goes to return the serve. Pops it up. Dameron over to handwork. Finds the back corner. I tell you what, if there's one person who says anything with more enthusiasm than the way Sam Goldberg announced any gauge handwork spike the last time he was here, I'd be shocked because every time it was like there was just so much raw energy behind it, and I kind of wish to emulate that, but that's also not my style. So each their own. Looks like the score now 15-6. If I'm reading that right there, Jordan.
You indeed are. As a nice little serve there, and it sets up the captain of RMU, Courtney, there for the spike, and it deflects out of bounds for the point.
Yep, he was real. What's the word I'm looking for? Real fundamental. Just went up, went through the block, and that ball scuttled aside. Speaking of Courtney, he's got the serve here, gets it across. W&J on the return, dug out by Konchenauer. Handwork with the changeup, almost caught the President sleeping. Oh, and Cameron Courtney let that one go, thinking it was going to go wide. Ends up staying within a few inches of the sideline there. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you think you're a little more to one side or the other than you actually are, and then you take a look at it and you go, oh, that was still in play.
Yeah.
Courtney up to the pace, who gets it across. President's now. Frank hits it over. Hollinger over to Handwork. That one floating in the air for quite a while as it comes back across. Played nicely from the Colonials defense. Over to Nick Salone, who does not get a piece of it.
Yeah, he just missed it there. Didn't get enough height on it.
In theory, everything went right. In execution, well, not quite.
It's not the first time I've heard that before.
Yeah, a lot of group projects have gotten that response in the comments afterwards. Oh, and Handwork just launches that one past the baseline, and it hit itself under the bleachers. They're going to probably need the new ball unless someone wants to go fishing. Looks like Connor might be looking for it here for W&J. Seeing if it popped out the other side. Oh, and it did.
Just there. Look at that.
You're pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
Took a little trip through the Squirrel Hill Tunnel.
So it'll be W&J to serve here. 16-9 your score. And I don't know what happened there. An ace for W&J off of miscommunication between Handwork and Hollinger.
An ace and W&J breaking out the rowboat celebration over there.
I tell you what, they're having fun on that bench, are they?
Yeah, having a good time.
And that's at the end of the day what these matches are all about. Obviously, you want to win, but if you're not having a good time playing the game, then what's the point? Especially at the club level. And that ball, gone. Just into the fourth row if we had bleachers over there. And it will be, once again, the Colonials serve, who still maintain a pretty sizable advantage.
As the handyman up here for the serve.
Hits it in. W&J with the play, and it's once again number 7 for W&J. Gets it across. 17-11 right now the score. If I'm RMU, I wouldn't be too concerned yet, but it's something to keep an eye on that they've closed up the gap about 3 or 4 points here in the past couple minutes.
Yeah, and it's something we keep seeing from them every single, the 2 other games they've played today, is they sometimes fight their way back into it.
Yeah, I believe that was the 3rd hit. So they had to go for number 4. Instead of getting it over, they tried setting it up. But, the ref was right there to call him on that one. Colonials now with the serve. Hits it in. And that is a double hit. Point for the Colonials.
Yeah. They build the lead back up to 8 once again.
Tell you what, the Colonials, they've done a really good job so far of whenever they've been communicating well during the heat of the moment. They had that one miscue on the ace from W&J, but other than that, they've looked like pretty cohesive so far in this game 1. That ball out past the far sideline, another point for the Colonials.
Looking sharp, looking good, as they are 5 points away from picking up the first win in this game.
Ball gets over the net and not played cleanly from the Presidents. And now it's 21-11.
RMU back here for the serve. Set by the Presidents. Spiked into handwork, not able to handle it. It goes flying into the score section.
I think they tried doing bowling, but only half of them fell over.
Maybe they can pick up the spare here on this next point.
Spares have always been my struggle with collegiate bowling. As Kochenauer gets over the Courtney to Sidorsky, and there was, nope, okay, I was about to say, there was no chance of it coming back, and then it almost did. So I'm glad I held my tongue momentarily. So here comes Chandler Dameron for potentially the final couple points RMU needs to put away game number 1 of this final match. I should not talk about the serves ever.
You know, if I had $1 for every time that this happened, I'd have enough to buy a couple 4-for-4s.
I'm about to say, you'd have enough to buy us lunch.
Yeah. We'd be eating for free today.
Well, if only. Here comes the W&J Presidents getting ready for the serve. I don't know exactly who that is serving.
I believe that is number 7. That is Frank.
It is indeed Frank. And that ball not able to be returned by the Colonials.
I will once again say it. I was red hot.
You're really trying to get that going. Not even for RMU. I guess that's something if W&J watches this back, they'll have to get in contact with them. The old Frank's Red Hot people. And that one goes into the net. The Colonials now right on the doorstep. They're about to ring the doorbell of victory, as the kids like to say. That's not true. The kids never say that.
No. I don't know what kids you're talking to. I'm saying ring the doorbell, but...
Well, here comes, here comes, what? I don't even know what that was. People start punting the ball into the net. There was at least like 4 or 5 hits in there. It was chaos. 24-14 the score right now. William Kochenauer able to potentially put this one away for RMU. Serve is up. Looking to return it. That is Connor. Dameron over to handwork, and that'll do it. Game number 1 in the books. I dropped my clipboard. It is 25-14. Game 1 in favor of the Colonials. We'll be right back after this intermission.
Welcome back, everybody, after we had quite the end to Game 1 here.
That is true.
RMU picking up the win 25-14 as they are going to start with the serve here by the captain, Courtney.
You can really get some wicked alliteration going if you say Captain Cameron Courtney.
Captain Cameron Courtney on the court.
If only serve started with a C. That one's out of play. Kochenauer and Courtney looked at each other, expecting one of them to get the ball, but a little bit of miscommunication there will give the Presidents the early lead.
And just like the first game, the Presidents pick up the first point.
Very true. Although they were not able to turn it into a victory in Game 1. We'll see if that changes here in game number 2 as Hollinger gets under that one. Courtney over to Salone, just past the back line.
And they're going to call that out. Presidents off to a nice little 2-0 start.
Nick Salone pleading with the ref, saying it went off the hands of a President's player. The ref kind of smiled a little bit and said, no.
They got diplomatic immunity on that one.
That they did. Courtney over to Salone, gets it over cleanly. You can tell both teams not really forcing anything right now. They're just trying to get themselves into an advantageous position. As I believe that is Damon Nelson, who was the other mystery man from the first series against CMU. That ball launched closer toward the ceiling than toward the court.
Yeah. It's a second spike in a row for him that's went back out.
RMU's under that one. Courtney just kind of tosses it over. Cam's under it. Over to Hollinger. to Nelson, who gets it across lightly. Another nice little volley here. 2 in a row now. We've had a nice volley. As I say that, Michael DePace just brings the hammer down.
As you say that, the Camo King drops the hammer.
Yeah, both of these teams, they've been really going for the volleys here in game number 2. There's been a couple of extended runs until DePace made that one very, very suddenly come to a stop.
Yeah.
Here comes Nelson with the serve. And that gets over.
Oh, wow.
Kind of handcuffed DePace a little bit. I don't think he was ready for it. And then Damon Nelson, honestly, nearly caught it with a slide tackle on the back end, but was not meant to be.
And I don't think the Presidents were expecting that either. They hit that over and were kind of surprised, and RMU caught with a shocker on there. Nelson almost able to get back there with a soccer-like kick, though.
So number 18, that is Jordan for W&J with the serve. And the volley has begun. Courtney to Hollinger. Salone will hit it over. Really good dig there from Jordan. As W&J on the attack now. Floats it deep. Nelson. The Courtney over to Kochenauer. Another long volley going on here. Oh, and a very strong spike there from Frank.
Oh, Frank. Red hot. Burning hot.
I tell you what, of all the W&J players, he's probably been the one who's been finding the most success so far, at least through this series with RMU.
Yeah, he's definitely the big name player they got right now.
Jordan with the serve. Hollinger under it. The Courtney feeds over the Kochenauer, who, nice dig there from Connor. As Frank goes to hit it deep. Hollinger under it again. The Courtney. And DePace hits it over, out of play, just wide of the sideline.
The Presidents are looking sharp in this game. The 6-1 lead, a complete role reversal of the last game.
Yeah, it seems so far that these longer volleys have been in favor of the Presidents because there has been quite a few of them. Kochenauer, gets denied at the line. He tried floating it, but both W&J players go up to stop it. That looks to be
number 4
I was
there.
about to say Mike is one of them. I'm not sure who the other player was. It may have been number 14, who was Alex.
And RMU's going to call a timeout now, giving up 6 straight points.
Yeah, trailing 7-1 here in game number 2. It's probably a good time for a rest and reset.
Yeah, and you got to think, what can you do to change what you're doing right now? Because you seem like your plays are working out and you have the right moments, but the Presidents just have come up with great spikes, great hits, taps over the head. Mm-hmm. They've just been playing everything perfect.
Yeah, and you got to imagine, if you're on the Colonial side, you have to like the process but not the results. I'm thinking they may be trying to discuss a way to find a way to get someone a little more room to hit it with a bit more intensity, because they've been getting the ball over, but it's been a lot of floaters.
Yeah, and this has definitely been the longest 8 points we've seen today.
Agreed.
As these volleys have just been, almost all of them have been long.
Yeah. So once again, it will be Jordan for W&J with the serve. Hits it over. Hollinger's under it. To Courtney. Over to Kochenauer, and that was exactly what we were just talking about, Jordan, finding a way to get a bit more speed on those shots.
Yeah, you need to pick up the pace on these volleys. You don't want them to stretch out. Once it starts going back and forth 2 or 3 times, it has been working out in the President's favor. You need to get the ball, you need to get it quick, and you need to get it set so that you can just spike it into them.
RMU with the serve now, looking to regain some momentum. Goes up to the wall. Hollinger picks it up to Courtney. Goes far side the Kochenauer with the floater, but W&J's under it. Frank misses the net. I don't think they're going to say, yep, they're saying it's RMU's point. They didn't see any hands on it. Ref conferring with the line judges. They're going to say it's RMU's point. Here's the serve. W&J's under it. Salone, they're going to say that.
They're going to say net.
W&J gets off the net. 3 straight points now for the Colonials, and a must-needed 3 after that timeout.
Yeah.
Or I say much needed 3 after that timeout.
And the clipboard is down again, folks.
You know, they really shouldn't have given me a clipboard. Hollinger over to Courtney. To Swiderski with some pace.
4 straight points for the Colonials, back down to a 2-point game here. Presidents need to figure something out here. They do not want this lead that they built themselves to slip away.
And the volley is on. Swiderski again with power. I think the Colonials have found the play that's working at the moment.
Yeah, at the beginning of this game, you were seeing these volleys, and then RMU was having trouble setting up those spikes. And since they've gotten them set and they've been able to get those opportunities, it's been all Colonials now.
From a game that started 7-1 Presidents, it's once again a 1-point game. Oh, and blocked at the line. Swiderski and Salone get a hand on it. We've got ourselves a tie game.
Yeah, just like that. 6 straight points for the Colonials.
You almost have to wonder if W&J is going to use a timeout soon, as they haven't picked up a point since the Colonials' timeout. Courtney's under it, goes over to Kachenauer. Oh, and that ball way back there and almost into the bleachers. Another point for the Colonials.
And just like that, they now have their first lead of this game.
If you had said before that timeout that this is how the next 7 points were going to go, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but here we are with the score 8-7. Hollinger's been serving for quite a while now on the RMU side. Courtney to Swiderski. Ball hit the net, but it was good and over.
And that's got to hurt. As soon as he hit that, he knew he made a mistake. And they're going to have to call timeout on that one and try and get something together here. 8 straight points by the Colonials to take a 2-point lead. I'm very surprised with what I've seen, honestly, because they were not looking very good at the beginning of this game at all.
And now, just like that, they have retaken the lead in this one. And it's just been through the simple execution of get it to the guys who can bring it down with some speed and let them go to work.
Yeah, because the Presidents really don't have an answer for those spikes right now. They've been unable to do anything, and we've seen multiple occasions of they make contact with it, but it flies way back to the wall, and they can't catch up with it, or it goes to the bleachers.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those for sure, and I think W&J, that's probably what they were talking about in their huddle during the timeout, trying to figure out how can they avoid being stuck in that situation, and how can they get back to what was working early in this one. RMU with the serve. Oh, and a good spike there from the W&J side. The Presidents finding that the point to answer here after the timeout. Kind of taking a page out of the RMU strategy out of the break, which was the moment we have an opportunity, spike it. Presidents now trailing by 1, both in the series overall and in this game, as Cameron Courtney will set up Kachenauer. W&J goes to return. Courtney, the Hollinger, to Nick Salone, who will float it over. This is looking more reminiscent of the early part of this game. Courtney over to Hollinger again. Kachenauer again dug out by W&J. Met at the net, and Swiderski's just able to get a little more reach on it than the President's player down low. And that's one of the few long volleys that we've seen in Game 2 here that's gone in the Colonials' favor.
I think it might be the only long volley that had gone in the Colonials' favor.
Chandler Dameron to serve it in for RMU. That ball, good over there. A nice diving dig there from Dameron. Nice play. But Cameron Courtney's met at the line there, but I believe that was Mike. It's a shame that that play is going to go for naught because Dameron got full extension.
Yeah, number 6 of W&J able to just get up there and just throw it right back down at him and right into the net.
Oh, nice little play by Kachenauer just to send it across. But miscommunication on the Colonials' end means W&J will get the point. This has been a very streaky game.
That was an insane point right there for them. Nobody really had any control, and the RMU player just let it go.
Here's the serve. Oh, Damon Nelson tried popping it up, but did not get a good handle on it, and he's going to feel that one in the fingers.
And CMU has now taken back that lead that they gave up. Back up by 1 here.
Courtney, the Kochenauer. Nice little mirror image there of Swiderski and Cameron. Swiderski was the one who got it over. Swiderski to Dameron. Back to Swiderski. Oh! And he caught it. If this was Newcomb, I think that would be a point for W&J. But that's not quite how volleyball works.
I think even the line judge, the ref got a chuckle out of that one right there. Something you don't see much.
I feel like that's one of those moments, when you're playing basketball and the ball gets stuck in between the rim and the backboard.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like he was trying to catch it. Like, he caught it in his forearms. It just sat there.
And
like
he was just
rock.
like there for a few moments like, did this really just happen?
Oh, and a whiff there from Mike. That's going to be a point for the Colonials. 12-11 the score here in game number 2. If the Colonials find a way to win this game, after trailing by 6 early, it'll give them a 1-1 overall on this tri-match today. If they were to lose game 2, then we go to a decisive game 3.
Which have not been kind to RMU today.
They've not been kind to RMU all season.
Yeah.
I think they're like 1-3 in sets that have gone to that third game. Hits it up. W&J with the hit, and Mike just sent that well past the baseline. RMU starting to string together a couple of points here, as it looks like it'll be Will Kochenauer for the serve.
A little too much sugar. Trying to get themselves back into a groove here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hollinger with a great dig. Oh, and another dig from Kochenauer. Nice back-to-back defensive plays. And then the block from Swiderski. 3 straight denials from the Colonials defense.
The crowd loved that one. RMU taking it, sending it back with one, sending it back with one again, and then a massive block.
Kochenauer with the serve. Here comes Connor for W&J. Oh, and Kochenauer almost got enough under it on the dig, but ends up in the middle of the net.
And this is what the Presidents needed here, the slow RMU down a little bit. Try to dig themselves out of this hole they've gotten themselves in once again.
The Presidents with the serve, with some speed. Popped up. Courtney will just send it across. Met at the line. Courtney gets it over. Another meeting at the line, and this time, third time's the charm for Cameron Courtney. That one was the one to go. Tell you what, when this RMU team gets into a rhythm, they are really fun to watch. Swiderski for the serve here. Oh, and a nice little redirection there from number 14 on W&J. That's Alex on our roster. He kind of caught him lacking a little bit there with that second hit, send across. And a lot of people dove for that middle. No one was able to get a hand on it.
Yeah, that looked like a big-time set there, and just tricked them with that one. And all for naught, they give the point back with the out-of-bounds serve.
Cameron Courtney, the captain to serve for the Colonials. Oh, there's another C we can add to it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice play there from the W&J outside hitter. Instead of going for a lot of speed, he just went for really placing that ball nicely on the far sideline. Kind of caught the, who was that, Nick Salone for RMU, kind of unawares, and that'll be a point for the Presidents. Sends it over. Salone looking for some vengeance. Oh, and he's going to get it. He did the exact same thing. He sent it right back toward Frank. What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
That is something the kids say.
Got it that time. I'm like ringing the bell.
Hey, I want to coin the new phrase, ringing the doorbell of victory. I think that's fun.
And that is a serve out of bounds by Nelson of RMU.
18-15 the score at the moment. We're coming down toward the final stages of game number 2 here. Presidents are going to need to find a way to take the lead if they are going to force a game 3, as the Colonials still in the driver's seat at the moment. As DePace hits it into the net. Now it's only a 2-point gap.
And if you're the Presidents, you're looking for another game starter here. Another 6 or 7 point run here, and that would almost do it.
Just about, as Nelson gets under that one. Courtney to DePace, just fights his way through the block attempt, gets it to go. 19-16. You can feel amongst the crowd here, they're starting to feel a little bit of the tension, like, oh, they might be able to bring it home here in game number 2. Hollinger with the serve. Picked up. Off the net, that's going to be a point for the Colonials, as you cannot use the middle divider to cross the field of play. You can hit it and have to play it off again, but you can't use it to cross.
And sometimes you really hate to see this, because a lot of courts don't have that divider there that drops down, so it gives them that couple extra foot or two to work with there, which would make most of the shots today that we've seen hit that actually clear it.
Yeah, it would. But, you know, the divider curtain's got its own benefits. You can run multiple events in here. We have a lot of club sport practices where you have basketball on one side, volleyball on another. But, you know, when you're coming to a match setting like this where you're playing across the middle of the court, sometimes it happens to be a bit of an impediment.
And they are coming back into it here, 20-18 now.
It's going to come down probably to the last couple points in this one. This one is under it. Courtney gets it up, and Kochenauer, they're going to say
They're
that.
going to say it's outside of the sticks.
Yeah, it looked like there was maybe a chance it'd come back in, but they're going to say it went wide. It was not an easy angle for Kochenauer to work with there. 1 point lead for RMU. That ball clearly out of play. Little too much pizzazz on that one.
Yeah.
Will be Chandler Dameron to serve here for the Colonials. He always seems to find his way serving toward the end of these games, I've noticed. There's the serve into the net. 1 point deficit once again for the Presidents.
And we've been seeing this a lot on both sides here. A lot of these last couple points here for both teams have come off of serves out of bounds or into the net.
Yeah, it might just be a little almost a miscommunication there. There might be a little bit of nerves going on at play for both of these teams. Hollinger to Dameron, over to Kochenauer. Played nicely from the Presidents as Connor will hit it across, and Hollinger pops it way up there. Dameron keeps it alive. Kochenauer with the floater returned. The volley is going strong as Dameron gets under that one. The Courtney back over the Kochenauer, nothing doing. Both teams seem to have had the ball an eternity now. Dameron over to Courtney on the short side. That ball way up there and out of play. They're going to say that went off the blocking hands of, I think it's Connor for W&J.
I think it may have been his head.
It may have been. Regardless, a big-time play from Captain Cameron Courtney there to give RMU the point, and another one of those really long volleys.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's an ace there, as both teams a bit discrepant on who was going to pick it up. Timeout called. And what are we looking at score-wise here, Jordan? Is it 22?
It is 23 to
20.
The first time in a while we've had a little bit here. We've had a 3-point lead. They're going to need to get at least 4 points here just to even keep it close, because you gotta win by 2.
That is true.
So if they get to 24, they can force the Colonials to get 6, and that's what they're going to need. Or at least to get 4 before RMU scores 2. If they give them up 1, you got to get 4 points. You have to get to 24.
That is going to be the magic number, at least to force it into extra time, as I'm going to call it. I'm sure there's an actual name, but I don't entirely know what it is. That's a misplay there off of number 15, Sean for W&J. Colonials 1 point away now, 24 to 20.
Yep, they could put it away here with a serve by Kochenauer. He's been playing lights out on serves for them right now.
goes conservative with it, just floats it up and over. They want to win this on the court. Dameron to Nelson. Caution hour. Interesting little play there. Gets over, but W&J handles it. Connor gets it up, and that'll do it. That ball in the net. Colonials win 25-20. They win the game 2-0, and will end this tri-match 1-1. The Presidents 0-2. And everyone, little post-game handshake action going on here. Been a fun one here today, Jordan.
Yeah, we had a good one. Some close games, some that were not so close, but this last series was pretty good.
Certainly was, and if you were one of the Colonials fans in attendance, you did get to see him pick up a very deserved victory here over Washington and Jefferson. Game 2 was close, but I think it was pretty clear that RMU was the slightly better team of the two in this one, just like how between them and CMU they may have been on the other side of that coin.
Yeah, and I'd say the big moment here out of this game was RMU getting that 7-point lead back, killing that out of W&J and pretty much putting the brakes on for them.
Yeah, when you go up 7-1, you never expected them to be trailing 9-7. And I think that probably was a huge momentum boost for the Colonials, who will pick up a 2-0 win and a 2-1 loss. I think overall the team will be, obviously you want to win every game you go out to, but if it had to shake out the way it did, I don't think they're going to be too mad about it.
Yeah, they played a really solid CMU team here today, and to get that one win and to make it semi-close in the third game, you've got to feel good about that, and then to pick up the 2-0 sweep over W&J.
Well, just a reminder for everyone at home, tomorrow at 11 a.m., we will be having women's club volleyball versus Slippery Rock right here on the Twitch page, twitch.tv/RMU Rec Sports, right at the RMU Rec Center once again. That is women's volleyball versus Slippery Rock tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jordan, any final thoughts before we call it a night?
I don't really have any other thoughts, but if you're going to be here, we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right, folks, that'll do it for us here up at the Rec Center. For Jordan Wirtz, I'm Alexander Gagnon. Y'all have a great rest of your afternoon, and we will catch y'all tomorrow.